welcome to Hughesy Friends. Tonight, we've got all sorts of mates like Lizzy Hoo, Brett Blake, Dane Simpson, and Claire Hooper. Now let's give it up for Australia's favourite. It's Dane Hughes.
Oh, super pumped up. Hey, how we feeling, SP? Guys, this isn't a nostalgia show, but I am so nostalgic. I'm here at the SP, the Gershwin Room, where it started my comedy career in Melbourne back in 1995. First gig I ever did here, I sucked. I was shit. But here I am, and this show is called Hughesy Friends, and I just remembered that was the first comedy festival show I ever did at the Melbourne Comedy Festival in 1996. Hughesy Friends, me and some mates at a pub in South Melbourne. I did all the bloody booking. I put posters up on bloody light poles around the area, had my home phone number for the booking number, and literally had about 3 calls, which shocked me. I swear to God, I remember one woman ringing. I said, yeah. She said, I'm ringing about the comedy show. I said, all right. She said, can I book? I said, yeah, you could, but you might as well just turn up. She said, can we get seats? I said, we'll organise some chairs. Then I said, do you want us to pick you up? Seriously. She lived in Geelong, well, it's fucking worth it. No, anyway, and here I am, back at the Gershwin Room, still super pumped up in 2021. Just glad to be out of the house. 2020 tough. I was at home a lot, which was hard for me because I've got a family. And being at home with a family is relentless. Relentless. My wife at one point last year, she's a school teacher, good on her, primary school, public primary school. She's a frontline hero. And at one point she had to go to school to teach her children via Zoom. No one was there, just her in the classroom. Well, I had to stay home with our 3 kids. And I was meant to feel sorry for her, apparently. Yeah, you're a frontline hero. But I'm the one who's suffering. 3 children at home, tough work, yeah? Still all criticising their father. They're on the internet, checking out all the negative things that have been said about me. At one point, I was making lunch for them, and I said to my daughter, there's your sandwich. She turns into bloody Gordon Ramsay when I present her with a sandwich. It's no good, Dad. I said, look, Dad's a big deal, and you're getting a bloody sandwich made from someone who's a big deal. You should be grateful. She said, I'm a bigger deal than you. I said, how so? She said, I don't have haters. I said, yeah, you don't have haters. Daddy has haters because people know him. That's why they hate him. If they knew you, they would hate you as well, I can tell you. Yeah, no, it is great to be here, and I am pumped up, super pumped up. This is my hood. Yes, I walk dogs around here, my rescue dogs. You might have been bitten by one of them. I've got a dog that's been biting people for 15 years. That's a big effort to keep a dog alive. Because these days, with political correctness gone mad, your dog bites a kid and your dog's in trouble. I grew up in the 70s where dogs bit kids and your mum would blame you. What did you do? Now when your dog bites a kid, it's the dog's fault, apparently. My dog bit a kid in a park, didn't bite it that bad, didn't even break the skin. The kid was only 18 months old and didn't have the communication skills to tell her mum what had gone wrong. And her mum was on a phone and missed what had happened. So I had a small window of opportunity to keep my dog alive. So I was trying to calm the kid down. You'll be right, mate. Do you want some cash? Eventually, the kid's mum got off her iPhone and said, what happened here? I said, your kid just went nuts. Can you calm him down? He's freaking my dog out. No, good on us. Good on us for just getting out of the house and enjoying life. You know, COVID's around, but we're dealing with it, aren't we? It's not easy. You don't know what bloody strain's going to come next. COVID 7.8, COVID 9.2. But you can't even cough now, can you? I was on a plane the other day and I sneezed. It's like I'd thrown a bloody dagger at someone. Look at how happy we are. I've never been happier. I'm feeling good about myself. I feel like I look good, you know, even though my daughters don't agree. Took my shirt off the other day and they said, Dad, you've got boobs. I said, well, you haven't, so who's the winner? I know you're only 9, but you dream of having a set like this one day. Are you ready for the first act tonight? Are you going to give them all the love that you've got? I know you are. This woman is unbelievable. She's a very, very funny comedian. She's come down from Sydney for this gig, so you better enjoy her. Give it up for Lizzy Hoo! She's a friend of mine.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. I'm Lizzy. I'm 37. Thank you. I look amazing. I do. Some say I'm Asian gracefully. Oh, look, lots of people ask me where I'm from. And as a kid, it happened all the time. And I got so annoyed by it. I asked my mum, I was like, hey, Mum, can I get a shirt made up that says, my mum's Australian, white Australian, my dad's Chinese Malaysian, and I'm Lizzy from Brizzy. Cute, huh? And she was like, yes, that is a great idea. I want one too. Because she was this white lady walking around with 3 Chinese-looking kids. Everyone would ask her, oh, where did you get them? Was it an easy process? So Mum, she just wanted to get her own shirt that said, I fucked a Chinese guy. Shout out to Big Chan Hu. Oh, look, I know life is returning to normal because I've started saying yes to things I don't want to do again. Like my boyfriend, he asked me if I wanted to go on a double date, with his friends, yuck, to a virtual reality escape room. Now, unlike regular VR experiences, a virtual reality escape room is the unique combination of 2 loser activities. Yeah, you have the virtual reality goggles for the trippy visuals. You know, we were fighting velociraptors with bow and arrows, landing on the moon. Oh, we're in ancient Egypt. This is so real. And then you combine this weirdness with the stress and anxiety of a hostage situation. I should have just taken acid and wandered through IKEA. Put a pasta colander on my head, arm myself with some lint rollers and start rubbing people up and down. That would have been a better use of my $60. Any IKEA fans in here? You? Oh, proud. I hate it. I hate the lighting. And then the parking, you gotta park, you gotta catch an Uber to the store. And then inside there's this weird smell of credit card debt. Just meatballs and personal loans. It's disgusting. And I always get this weird, eerie feeling in IKEA. And I think that's because it's haunted. Yeah, by the souls of couples who were once in love. IKEA is where couples go to die. I'm in a 4-year relationship and we've never been to IKEA together, okay? He goes. He loves it. And I think that's because, well, he's the white one, okay? And aspirational homewares and eating shitty food is his culture. And I don't want to get in the way of that. He's not an ordinary white guy, though. He is a bit of an exotic species. Yeah, bit of a Bengal tiger. He's a ginger from London. I'm pretty much Meghan Markle. Just the cheap Chinese version. When we first started dating, he genuinely told me that Asian women have a thing for gingers. And I was like, no. You're mistaken. We don't have a thing for gingers. We have a thing for ginger. And he was like, nah, trust me. Asian women have a thing for gingers. And I thought, mate, this isn't something I wanted to learn from my new boyfriend. Like, I wondered why his chopstick skills were so good. He left his shoes at the door. He pronounced faux fa. Safe to say, I'm not his first chicken chow man. All right, I've been Lizzy Hoo. Thank you so much.
Lizzy Hoo, what a superstar! Now give it up for the wonderful Brett Blake!
G'day, legends. How are we going? We're good, yes? Oh, man, that's exciting. I'm pumped. Comedy's back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited because the last time I was doing comedy before the lockdown, one of my last gigs, I was in Adelaide Fringe. Anyone here been to Adelaide Fringe before? Give us a cheer. If you haven't been, don't go. Anyway, full of theatre dorks. You don't want to know about it. Anyway, I was, it's great. I was at Adelaide Fringe, right? I walked down to the stage. If you haven't been to Adelaide Fringe before, by the way, there's circus wheels, there's theatre people performing, it's all going on. There was a guy with like a full body lizard tattoo. His whole body was just covered in tattoos, and he was out the front of my tent for some unknown reason, just juggling a chainsaw, not distracting at all. Anyway, right, and also the chainsaw had no chain on it. Fucking coward, you know what I mean? Also, you're a lizard man, you know what I mean? Your leg's gonna grow back. What are you thinking? Anyway, right, so all that's happening, right? Also, the main reason I go to Adelaide Fringe every year, it's the same time the V8 supercars are on, and in the back of my show, all you hear is and God, it makes me hard. Anyway, so good, right? But I walk out onto the stage, all that's going on in the background, I walk out into a tent, I walk out on stage, before I grab a mic, the guy at the back goes, "Hey mate, if you're here, who's looking after the Ferris wheel?" I was like, that's pretty good, you know what I mean? Like you know when you get done over, you're like, no, that's... Damn it, I'm more of a dodgem car guy. I was trying to... And then I went into a 111-day lockdown, had a lot of time to think about it. It's tough for Brits. But it's good. I was recently in a regional... Is anyone here from a regional town? Give us a cheer. One person, nice. The sound guy? No one cares, mate. Anyway, trying to do a show. But I was in regional Queensland. I was in a town called Condamine, and I had to head to another town called Meandarra, right? And I got lost. Classic city slicker move. My iPhone died, right? I went into a random pub to ask for directions, and when I was in this pub, I met the most Australian man. Look at me. I met the most Australian man I have ever met in my life, and he gave me the most Australian answer. I said, "Mate, how far is it from this town to Meandarra?" And he goes, "Mate, it's about an 8-can journey." I was like, how good is that? You know what I mean? When you just fuck off kilometres and start speaking in tinny, you know? I was like, I respect that, you know, right? But I didn't want to look like an idiot in front of him, so I was like, an 8-can journey. Most people drink 2 beers per hour. Therefore, it is a 4-hour journey. I was like, oh, mate, just 4 hours up the road. He's like, nah, mate. 15 minutes. Reason why there's a lot of high fatalities on this road, sir. I believe it is you. But I used to have an ex-girlfriend. Sorry to brag. I used to have an ex-girlfriend. Sir, a few exes in your life? Calm down, Casanova. Got ya. But I used to have an ex-girlfriend, right? And she's the most amazing, incredible thing. Men, women, everyone in between, please take note of what my ex-girlfriend used to do, right? What she used to do, she used to take selfies of herself in lingerie. Never used to send them to me. I'm not angry about it. Just move on, guys. Anyway, selfies of herself in lingerie, right? Then she used to put them into a group chat with all her female friends, right? Then all her other female friends in that same group chat would then do the same thing, selfie themselves, and then put it into the group chat. Then every single female member of that group chat would then have to write one positive comment about each other's bodies. That way they're feeling strong, independent, and secure within themselves going into the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never yes queen before in my life. But soon as she told me that, I was like, yes queen! Like, that is the most beautiful, inspiring thing I've ever heard. Like, so inspiring that I decided to do the same thing with my group of mates from back home in Perth. Right, but I stepped it up a notch, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, Mama didn't raise a coward, right? So I whacked in a nude selfie, right? And I put it into the group chat. It's called Da Boys, of course it is. Anyway, you know it, right? And put in the nude selfie, right? And then my best mate Ian, of 22 years, just wrote back, "Shit dick, fatty." Then my other mate Joe just super zoomed into my penis. And now that's the image for our group chat. So, if anyone knows how Facebook works, I would really like to delete that. Zuckerberg, if you're around. But I during COVID, I got a new job. I was working construction. What are the odds? 110%. I was throwing stuff into a skip bin and I had a great time. Right, I was working construction and I was working with a young guy. His name was Henry. He was the apprentice, right? And I don't know what it is. When you work with someone who's significantly younger than you, like he was 19, I'm 34, and for some reason in my stupid head, like I wanted him to think I was cool, you know what I mean? Like I was like, "Hey man, you got any cool Tarzos?" You know, like, "Have you got a tech deck? You know, let's do it." He's like, "Who is this old prick speaking to me?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh, I got a yo-yo and stuff going on." Oh, but I was trying to relate to him. I said, Henry, you know, have you got a partner? What's going on? And he goes, "Yeah, I've got a partner." 19 years old. "I've got a partner. I've settled down." 19 years old. "I've settled down," right? And then he said the weirdest thing straight after that. He goes, "I've settled down. I've had my peace." I've had my... Like, what are you, fucking Paulie from The Sopranos? You know what I mean? You've had your piece, you're holding an espresso martini, you got the sun visor on. What are you talking about? What Henry is trying to say, as a 19-year-old boy, not a man, as a 19-year-old boy, Henry has had everything available to him on the sexual hemisphere. As a 19-year-old boy, he can now settle down because he's had his piece. I'm 34. I reckon I've had a 16th of the pie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lying. It's a 32nd or whatever that number is, right? I flipped out. I lost my mind at Henry. I said, Henry, have you ever had sex with a middle-aged woman, Henry? No. Then, son, you have never fucked before, you know? I started getting deep. I started getting specific. I said, Henry, have you ever been on a Kentucky tour, Henry? Have you ever been on a Kentucky tour in the south of France? And yes, you know it's a wine region, but that's not why you're there. You're with your best friend Ian of 22 years. You're at a pool party. Pitbull's playing in the background. Grab somebody sexy, tell them, mate. You're in the pool party, Henry. You're in the pool party having a good time. Next thing you know, two French backpackers jump in the pool. One of them jumps on your shoulders. You're in an arm wrestle with another couple, Henry. You're in an arm wrestle with another couple. Next thing you know, she spins around. You start exploring her with all her feminine glory, Henry. Have you ever been in that situation before, Henry? No. Henry, have you ever rocked up to your best friend's house, Ian, of 22 years? You knock on the door. Ian is not available. His mum answers the door. She's in a shower robe. Next thing you know, a strong gust of wind knocks that off her body. You see her in all her 45 years of glory. Next thing you know, you're hanging under the shower curtain. She is sucking you up like you've never believed, Henry. Have you been in that situation before, Henry? No. Henry! Have you ever been to California? Yeah, you know that's not how you pronounce it, but you don't give a shit, right, Henry? You hire a Porsche 911 off a guy called Jorge, you buy a gram of cocaine, next thing you know, you and Jorge are zooming up the mountain, next thing you know, you jump into the back seat, you start questioning your sexuality, what it is to be a man, you start exploring his body, having a great time. Have you ever been in that situation before, Henry? No. Well, me neither, but, God, the mind wanders, you know? Powerful thing. Anyway, guys, I've been Brett Blake. Thank you very much for this evening.
Hey, give it up for Brett Blake! Oh, how good was that? Come on, guys, Bradley Blake! Henry has not done it all, but I am super pumped up still. I absolutely am, and good on us. You know, any vegans in the room? Just me, is it? Oh, no, you. Good on us, yeah? We're downtrodden, would you say? Do you ever go to a barbecue or something and then a function where people make you feel bad because you're a vegan? Christmas time with your family where they don't respect your choices, or they do respect your choices but they don't like you for your choices. We had a Christmas dinner with my in-laws. My mother-in-law made a big thing when I got there. She said, all the food's vegan tonight because of you. My 11-year-old son looked at me and said, Dad, why do you even have to be here? I couldn't have given a shit whether the food was vegan or not. I had a couple of non-sausages in the car. I could have brought them in. I don't care. But they just, the stress and I believe I'm a great husband, but I'm not perfect, you know. I'm a vegan. I don't drink. I'm not hooked on cocaine. But I still do things wrong which ruin her life, apparently, my wife's life. There's an example. I've got into the e-reader. I'm an e-reader dude, yeah? I'm a Kindle man. Every night I read my Kindle before going to sleep. And I thought that wasn't a bad thing to do. One night recently, I'm reading my Kindle and my wife turns to me in bed and says, that is ruining my life. I said, what? She said, you reading that Kindle is ruining my life. Well, this is the turn up for the books. How is this ruining your life? She said, it's so bright, I cannot sleep while you're reading it. I said, have you considered shutting your eyes? She said, I can actually see it through my shut eyelids. I'm like, I'm not reading via flare, for fuck's sake. How about you get some thicker eyelids, you fucking idiot? Now, let's be honest, I said very little of that. Only half that conversation happened. Her half happened. My half didn't happen. I just said, oh, I'm sorry, honey. I don't know how to turn it down. And she showed me how to turn it down. And together we turned it down so much I couldn't read it anymore. So I just shut it and just stared at the ceiling. Wondering what it'd be like to be hooked on cocaine. Guys, you're an amazing crowd and we're going to keep the show going. I know we're pumped up. Give it up for the incredible Dane Simpson! Come on, Dane. Get out here.
Hey, Scott, I'm Dane. I live in Wagga Wagga. It's cool to be here in the cooler nation. It's badass. I love it. Both my parents are Aboriginal, yeah. But my granddad, my mum's dad, was a white fella. So that's why I'm Indian. I don't know how fucking it works. Because the rest of my family, they're dark. Like, they're really dark. Like, they're black. Like, I'm the lightest in my whole family. Dad reckons I'm the one that talks to the cops. My eldest brother is black. He's black, dark. Like, they call him Midnight. That's how black he is. He calls me 7:30. I love it here. It's good to be doing comedy again. Like, I love coming down to Melbourne and doing comedy. This is amazing for me, right? Because obviously, I did my first solo show in 2019, which is. No round of applause? All right, fuck yes. It was amazing for me. That was my first time doing a whole hour by myself, right? And I came to Melbourne and it was just so much fun. Like, it was just really cool. And I brought my dad down with me, which is pretty badass, right? He was in the audience. I did my show and it was sold out probably. And like, right at the end, everybody was like that clapping and like that. And I was like, thank you so much for coming. Please head out. That's my show. I'm so proud that you've come. And my dad just put his hand up and he goes, nah. It's my turn. And just made his way to the stage. And I was like, nah. Sit the fuck down, Dad. What are you doing? And he's going, nah. And he just walked up on stage and fought me for the microphone. And I don't, because people in Melbourne, they didn't know that was my dad. They just thought that my solo show ended with me fighting an old Aboriginal man on the fucking stage. So I just let him have it, and then he's just like busting out shit dad jokes, and it was so annoying for me because he was getting bigger laughs. And like shitty dad jokes, and then he adds to them, right? You know, like, oh, what do you call Woolworths when it burns down? Coals. That's how he laughs as well at the end of his jokes. He does like a little chicken dance. He's like, But then he adds to it, and he's like, what do you say when Coles burns down? IGA? You fucking idiot, right? He just just told all these shitty dad jokes. And then I found this moment and I grabbed the mic off him. I just found it and I was like, thank you. Thank you. Can we get a round of applause for my dad? Thank you, everyone, for coming along. We're actually 7 minutes over time. Thanks, Dad. But yeah, leave, please. Ha, 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 ha. You too, Dad. All right, and people, they got up and they left. And my dad, he put his arm around me, right? And it was that validation from a parent that I was looking for. And he's just like, hey, we fucking killed it tonight, didn't we? It was a big year for me. 2019 was huge, right? Like they said, Dane, in 2020, you're going to be big, right? I didn't know they meant 8 kilos more. No, because I got engaged as well. It's cool. It was so amazing. And my dad, he come up to me like last month and goes, "Oi, how come you didn't get married last year?" What? How come you haven't watched the news in over a year, you fucking idiot? Like, what? And he's going, oh, no, yeah. Oh. What I wanted to say is, when are you having kids? That's a different question, Dad, and that's really big. Like, that's really, like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I'm ready. It's weird, because I'm old, right? Is that a weird thing to say to my dad? I'm like, Dad, is that weird? And he goes, Nah, it's not weird. It's okay. I'll tell you a secret. I didn't know if I was ready when I had you. And I'm like, I've got 2 older brothers, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about? But yeah, so I got engaged. She's white. No round of applause? Okay. Fuck, tough crowd. But I really like. She's white. She's prissy, right? Her name's Eleanor. It's regal. She's like the queen, yeah. And on the other side, a black fella, right? Dad reckons we're a lot like the $2 coin in that way. She came up to me a couple of weeks ago and she said, "Hey, should we write our own vows?" And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that. This is going to be great. And she's like, oh, no, actually, I forgot you're a fucking idiot. No, we'll just stick to something traditional. And I was like, no. I've already got 2 lines. Do you just want to hear them? Yeah. Okay. So we'd come down the aisle, obviously, and then put the... No. First, you stole my land. But now you've stolen my heart. Is that good? Thank you so much, you legends. I'm Dane Simpson.
Give it up for Dane, everyone! Now to bring us home, it's Claire Hooper! Come on! Go nuts!
It's so good to be here. I went back to Perth over Christmas, saw my mum and dad for the first time in a long time. And it was so good to see them because they've both recently retired and they are living it. My dad has taken all sorts of new hobbies up. Like his favourite seems to be leaving the room in the middle of the conversation. He's really good at it. And I can't wait to be old enough to do that shit. It looks so good. He started this thing where he will not wear a pair of shoes from the shops without tinkering with them first. So at Christmas time, he's wearing this pair of thongs. They're like camo and they're all raggedy around the edge. And I'm like, what's with the thongs, Dad? And he goes, well, I always found thongs a bit too tight. So now I buy them 3 sizes too big and cut them down with secateurs. Now that is the sort of genius idea that takes a full 70 years to percolate, isn't it? Like, you're not coming up with that at 35. 35-year-olds, they're walking around in thongs too small going, well, this is uncomfortable, but there's nothing I could do about it. No, they're not. 35-year-olds still care that other people find them attractive. They don't wear thongs. But honestly, like, can we just acknowledge the audacity of suggesting that thongs are a restrictive piece of footwear? I salute you, Dad. I always found thongs a bit too tight. Did you, Dad? Did you? Anyway, an amazing man. He makes getting older look so good. Like, I know that we're meant to be all gloomy about getting older, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm 44, and I'm not saying I'm old, but I have transitioned from choosing my underwear in the morning in case I get lucky to choosing my underwear in the morning in case my luck runs out. Like, in both cases, you're choosing it for the person who will see it when your clothes are ripped off your body, but and in both cases, hope it's a doctor. But it feels good. I'm embracing it because, Matt, here's the thing I've noticed. The older you get, the better you get at turning your anger from inwards to outwards. Right? Like, in my 20s, I was all like, I'm ugly, I'm a loser. And now I'm like, you're ugly, you're a loser. So good. And I'm cranky. I want my kind everywhere. I don't want to see any young people on the TV anymore, especially not doing weather. I'm sorry. I know that you can be a trained meteorologist at 21 years old, but I don't want to see you. I want some old bones on screen, please. I want somebody who's seen some weather. I want someone who is literally weathered, right? I don't want an hourglass figure. I want swollen ankles. I want her to know what's coming because she can feel it in her bones. I can turn on my phone and get the weather on my phone. Like, if I'm going to turn on the TV, I want someone to tell me with authority, take a cardigan today. Oh, all right, Doreen, she seems to know what she's talking about. My husband and I made it. Yep, we got through last year. I've got friends who had COVID divorces, and I really respect it. Like, if you are in the room tonight, if you are watching and you broke up last year, I salute you because you took the misery and you doubled down, you got it done. I respect that. But equally, congratulations if you stayed together, because I spent more time in the company of my husband last year than I did in the previous 13 years. We were not made to be together that much. Like, it's, you know what? It's the breaks where you find the love. Anyway, I've got tips. If you ever find yourself in a lockdown situation with a life partner, you can draw on my tips. My favourite one is, in the morning when you wake up, think of something you are better at than them, and then never tell them that's why you're smiling at them. And it doesn't even have to be anything important, my friends. It can be the most petty stuff. Every morning of lockdown, I would make the bed, and every morning the fitted sheet would have come off his corner of the bed, and I would put it on and I'd just be like, learn to sleep properly. Like, what a pathetic thing to get a warm golden glow from. A bit of learn to sleep properly, like me. You know what else? I am a wee better than him. Yeah. He just takes the longest time in there, right? And yeah, it's not like we've got anything better to do during lockdown, but still, I get it. I've got a list of jobs, right? And he actually, the other day, he heard me in the bathroom doing a wee and yelled in, "What's happening in there?" Because that's how fast I am, right? Not one long continuous sound, just one giant dollop and I'm out. Because I'm a busy single mother with a husband and I don't have time for an hour-long wee. I'm like a helicopter putting out a bushfire. Walk out like a hero. I'm getting out of here. Thank you so much. Good night.
Wow! How was that, everyone? Who's had the best time? Who's going to tell their friends? Yeah! This is streamable for quite a while, apparently. You've been a great crowd. Let's give it up for everyone we've seen tonight. We started with Lizzy Hoo. We moved on to Brett Blake. Then Dane Simpson. And the amazing Claire Hooper. They're all incredible. I've been Dave Hughes. Go see some shows at the Comedy Festival. Thank you and good night. I love the SP.